and another one done. So this month we read Rumer Godden's In This House of Brede, and it is a wonderful story. I didn't think in the beginning whilst I was reading it that I would like it as much, and I'll explain why. But I really did. I really love this book and the story. So it starts off with a woman named Philippa, who is a career woman. She's at the top, and she decided to become a Benedictine nun. And we are plunged into the story the day she's leaving her job. She's giving everything to her co-workers, etc., and getting rid of her apartment and all her things. And it's to everybody's surprise, and including hers, that she is becoming this nun. Even though we follow Philippa in the beginning, it is a story about several women. But Philippa is kind of that thorough line that we follow from beginning to the end. Just a bit about Rumer Godden. Rumer Godden is very interesting. She was born in Sussex, England, but she moved when she was a child due to her father's job to India, and she was there until she was 13, and then she moved to England again, and she really loved India and her life there. But she went to England for school, and then she went back and forth. She got married, had 2 children, and she was a very prolific writer. She wrote over 60 books, and some of them were for children. And she's most known for Black Narcissus, which is a book about Anglican nuns, and then this one, In This House of Brede, about Benedictine nuns, and I believe there's a third one about Dominican nuns. She was researching about different religions, and she grew a friendship with this scholarly Benedictine nun, Dame Felicita, I believe her name was, and I think it was in 1968 that she officially became Catholic. There is a Brede, but I don't think there's a Brede Abbey, but Brede exists. But this abbey is a fictional abbey. She did research for the book in Stanbrook Abbey, where she interviewed many, many nuns, was able to watch and observe different rites and rituals, etc. So let me get into a little bit more about the book. The writing, first of all, and why I thought I wasn't going to like it, because it does take its time. Like I said, there's no real plot. The story is the people that we meet, and she takes a lot of time with that. She sets the scene, and I kind of picture it as like you see like a path, and then you wander off because you see this flower and you want to look at it, and so you go here and see it, and you see that there's another one beside it just as beautiful, and so you pay attention to that, and then you remember like, oh, I have to go follow the path, and again and again and again. So you have this thing where she kind of makes you go out and into the story again, and out to see the people and into the story again. And at first it was a little difficult, at least for me, to pick up momentum in the story in reading it, because it almost felt like a documentary, where you're just seeing it happen before you, but not in like a story. You know, when you're listening to a story or reading a story, yes, you feel like you're there, but not as if you're there minute by minute. Some moments of the story felt like that, where I'm just reading what's happening in front of me. But it does set, at least in the beginning, it does set the stage to the abbey, to the sisters that are there, and you get to know these women, and then you feel like you know them as a friend. I actually had a dream about this book last night. There were nuns in my dream, and they were about to part. Anyway, and the dialogue is, I really love the dialogue. I don't know how the movie is, how they could have made the movie, because in the book too, a lot of times it goes in and out of the past and present, just all of a sudden. And there's a lot of just, this is what she thought, this is what this person thought, and then all of a sudden you're taken back into the past, and then back into the present. And I don't know how they did that in the movie. I will watch the movie later on, but But I don't know how they executed that, because that's one of the main things. In the beginning, it was difficult for me, but I got into the groove, and it was one of the things I really liked, because you just go back and forth. It's not like, in Dostoevsky, where here's the backstory for 600 pages. No, this one is like, we're having a conversation. Here's the backstory of why this person is doing this, and then back into the conversation. And it's nice. It's like a really nice flow. I don't know how else to describe it. Hello, we are in July. So for this wonderful time when everybody's usually on vacation, we're reading Leisure, the Basis of Culture by Josef Pieper. It's quite short. I did that on purpose, because I gave birth in May, and I know, and I'm gonna go see family, so I know I won't have as much time, and there's some things that I'm reading. Bref, anyway, it's by Josef Pieper. Is a Telegram group in the link in the description, in the link in the description below. Whew. If you need motivation to read, go ahead in the Telegram group, and at the end of the month, we get together to talk about the book we just read. So if that sounds good to you, I would love for you to join. And now let's get back to the book review. So the way it's written was the reason why I thought I wasn't going to like it, at least in the beginning. And then things started to happen. It wasn't until around chapter 5 or 6 where I thought, okay, it's good. It's a really good book. I have to keep pushing it. And it gets better and better and better. We don't just follow Dame Philippa, who was Philippa, Mrs. Talbot. Dame is what you would call a Benedictine nun, not sister. You follow her, but you also follow other nuns, Dame Agnes, who is very traditional, very strict. We follow Abbess Catherine, who, after the death of the other abbess, Abbess Hester Proctor, becomes the abbess. Her struggles in this new role that she never thought she would ever have. Sister Cicely, Elspeth, I think. I can never, that name was a little weird for me. Who becomes Sister Cicely, and she is this beautiful woman who has a man in love with her and doesn't understand why she chose to become a nun. And not just any nun, but a Benedictine nun who always remain in this abbey and behind a grill. We end up knowing their backstory, how they got to the abbey, how they became a nun, and how each of their particularities. In the beginning, every one of them is trying to get rid of what they presently are. And what they don't realize until later is that who they are, what makes them who they are, does a service to the other sisters, to the other dames, and to the abbey itself. Philippa, who is very scholarly, she speaks several languages. She knows about business and money and things like that. Helps the abbey get out of several ruts. There is a point where there is a man named Mr. Konishi who comes, and because he wants to establish an abbey, Benedictine abbey in Japan, and he brings 5 postulates with him, and she is essential to Brede Abbey because she was the only one who could speak Japanese. God's providence plays a big role in this. What's beautiful about the book too is that it goes into many different rites. For example, like when they do their professions, or when they're clothed, there's a ceremony clothing where they get their clothes. And their habits are for later when they do a solemn profession. But there's this one particular scene where Sister Cicely, Elspeth, she has the ceremony, and it's just so beautiful. And you can picture it in your mind of this woman dressed in white, professing her love to God, and it's just so beautiful to read. It's very intricate in all the details that goes on, and there's a lot going on. So this book was set in the 50s, but later on it comes around the time of the Second Vatican Council. So you have this interesting dilemma between the nuns, the old nuns and the new nuns, because there are new nuns like Sister Polycarp, who's a little bit more, not the conventional nun, as you would say. And there's not a fight, but kind of like a tug of war between the old and the new, and why we should keep certain things, and why should we get rid of certain things, and how it has helped certain, the new way has helped certain things. And like I said in the beginning, in terms of Rumer Godden joined the church officially in 68, and so, but she was researching in the 50s, and so she saw that change as well. What I really loved about the book, and what I think she was trying to show, Rumer Godden was trying to show, is that our humanity doesn't leave after passing the grill, after going into the monastery. I've said this before, I find it hard, sorry for the construction my neighbor's having. I find it hard to see saints who are religious having it hard, having a hard life. I know it sounds dumb, but in the way, because I'm thinking to myself, like, of course you're a saint because you were religious. All you did every day was pray, and you had this time. You didn't have a husband, wife, children, none of that to distract you. You didn't have to work outside, blah 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 blah. But this shed a lot of light into their lives, because it is not just because you enter the cloister does not remove your humanity. And one particular part that spoke to me, that showed me that, was especially with Sister Veronica. Sister Veronica, she's a little dramatic, in a word, and there's this whole thing that she's a writer, she's a poet at heart, and Dame Agnes is also a writer, but not in the same way. And she has something happens. I'm not going to give it away, but something happens where Dame Veronica decides to reveal a secret to Dame Agnes about her book, and in a way to make her feel bad about it, right? To hurt her intentionally. And I thought, wow, like, she's a nun, and she remained a nun. She remained in that as a Benedictine nun in the story. And I thought, how human it is for Dame Veronica to do that. She's just as frail as we are outside the cloister, despite being surrounded by beauty, having to pray for 6 hours a day. How even they can fall into sin. It's a thing that we forget. Seeing the habit, I find, or even when seeing a priest, I forget sometimes that they're human, and then they do something, and you think, you have a little disappointment, because you think, oh, you're a priest, or you're a nun. Why did you do that? Oh, it's because you're only human. I loved the part where the Japanese nuns come in, or the postulants come in. It just gives this world, like, it just gives this universality to Catholicism. And when they build the abbey, it's in the traditional Japanese style with wood, and it's beautiful. It's a story of redemptive suffering. There are a lot of moments where you are just crushed. The thing with Philippa, I won't spoil it, but Philippa has a really hard time getting to know Dame Polycarp, or Sister Polycarp at the time, and her ex-co-worker Penny has this trial, and there's so many things happen, but it does end happily. Several times in the book, we're reminded of the liturgical year, how our life is just a cycle, and just like the liturgical year, there are ups and downs, just as there were in Christ's life. And that's what makes this book great too, is that it doesn't just follow them through a year, it follows them through several years. It is a story about God's providence and his need for you, and how you are the giving of yourself is how you're supposed to let yourself go. You're not supposed to run away or hide from it, as Sister Cicely tried to do, but to offer it all up to God. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to say about the book. I don't want to spoil it anymore. I really hope you read it if you haven't read it already. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've seen the movie, let me know. I haven't seen it. I need to see it. I don't want it to ruin the book for me. That's why I always wait several months before I watch an adaptation. Anyway, let me know what you think, and I shall see you in the next one.